Hey everybody, K-Mully here. Pokemon Fire Red with only a Swablu was a lot tougher than I had imagined. Now since it's fall, I thought it'd be kind of fun to see if we could beat Pokemon Fire Red with only a Seedot, because you know, the whole acorn, fall, leaves concept. Now Seedot has very similar base stats compared to Skitty. Its highest being its defense. Being weak to 5 different types also doesn't help us. But yeah, but by level up, we don't get that many good moves, with our starting off being Bind. Now Bind hits the opponent after a few turns, healing back twice the damage the user took. So if we take 2 tackles, whatever damage we took, we dish back twice as strong. And the rest of the moves we seem to get are stat buffing and health restoring. So we can solo for a good amount of time. And TMs are lacking, but we have a much better selection than we have in previous runs. Alright, so like always, this introduction is being written before I attempt the challenge. Now, I gotta be honest, I have a strong feeling that Lance is absolutely going to crush us. Going over the rules quickly, I can only use Seedot in battle. I'll need other Pokemon for HMs, but they can't fight. No using glitches and exploits, and no using items in battle. Held items like leftovers, they are perfectly fine to use. Okay, so using the universal Pokemon randomizer, I replaced Bulbasaur with Seedot. I nicknamed it Dots from the tradable Seedot in Pokemon Emerald. We are docile Nature, so no changes to our stats. And our ability is Early Bird, which means we wake up faster. I'm okay with this as we can use Rest more effectively, and the other ability would have been Chlorophyll, which double speeds in the sun. After fighting our rival, I fainted 5 times while Pokemon. Yeah, that's right, 5 times. If a Pokemon like Rattata uses Tail Whip on the turns we are setting up with Bind, then we won't deal any damage. And then next turn we go down in 1 hit. I'll definitely need to have Nature Power at level 13 before we can take on Brock. While fighting Brock, I can go over exactly what Nature Power does. Nature Power is a normal type move that turns into a different attack depending on the battle scene. For example, we're fighting Brock inside a building, so that would turn Nature Power into Swift, a normal type move that has perfect accuracy. Okay, so combination of Bind and Nature Power weren't enough to take down Brock. In fact, you know how I said I lost the wild Pokemon 5 times after the rival? Well yeah, it took me 5 times to get an attempt where I actually beat Brock. So my basic strategy is just, in Viridian Forest, I make sure to run out of power points for all my moves so I can use Struggle. And then I make sure to use potions to heal up so that I can enter the battle with full health. Now Struggle is a 5th move that every Pokemon gets, and it basically just uses all its strength to deal typeless damage to Pokemon. So for example, even though it shows up as normal, Struggle can easily affect Geodude and Onix while taking some recoil. Eventually, they go down and we get ourselves our first badge. My god! Okay, so what you're watching right now is the 10th attempt at the second rival fight. And it's literally, Seedot has great defense, piss poor special attack defense. So Pidgeotto is no issue, like we can easily take it down with like some Swifts. But then we go into Charmander. Charmander has Ember, which if we can't survive 1 to 2 hits, we're done. Like we'll either die from a burn or we'll just get taken out regularly. We have Synthesis at this point, which heals off damage, which you know is nice, but it's not a lot we can do. Secret Power only does Swift, and then Bind, we can't even survive long enough to double it up. So we basically have to grind long enough in order to like tank a couple more hits, which we eventually do. But yeah, it's literally Charmander is like our one struggle. Okay, Misty time. And honestly, she's a bit of a challenge. Staryu goes down pretty easily after a couple of nature powered Swifts, as Staryu is pretty low in defenses, plus we're like 12 levels higher than it. But the real issue is Starmie. Starmie has pretty good bulk, and Water Pulse is stab, and we have pretty low special defense, so the numbers aren't in our favor. Plus, Water Pulse has the chance of causing confusion, which, yeah, it happens to us a lot of times, and it prevents us from attacking, and it'll make us hit ourselves. So my main strategy is it's like a back and forth between Misty healing Starmie with super potions, me using Synthesis, and just lasting long enough to use Nature Power Swift to take it out. Alright, time for the Sazan rival fight. Our rival's main tactic is going to be using Smokescreen and Sand Attack to lower accuracy, which with Secret Power being Swift in this case, we always land our hits, so it's not really too much to worry about. And the fact that we're much stronger than the last time makes this fight go super quick. Alright, time for Listen and Surge. So his main gimmick is going to be using Double Team to raise his evasiveness, Shockwave to deal damage to us, and yeah, Voltorb goes down pretty simple with a Secret Power, or Nature Power, and same with Pikachu. His Raichu is able to get off a Thunder Wave, which paralyzes us, but in the end we're able to take it down. So for the next rival fight, there's not a whole lot that has changed since the last time we fought him on the SSAN. Basically, Swift is able to take down each of his team in one hit, though the only interesting part was Execute is able to put us to sleep with the hypnosis, which causes us to normally fall asleep between 3 to 5 turns, but luckily Seedot has early bird for its ability, which allows it to wake up on the next turn, quickly knocking it out and the rest of his team. Okay, so next up is Erica and her grass types. Victory Bell tries using Poison Powder and misses but lands a Sunspawn, lowering our speed and the chance to move. Nature Power takes it out as well as Tangela, and last but not least is Vileplume. And we managed to stun it due to Sun's Secret Power, but we have to heal with Synthesis after a few times. But overall, Nature Power finishes it off. Okay, so up next is Giovanni, and we're at the point in the adventure where we're still pretty overpowered. Well, we can still deal a massive amount of damage, even though it doesn't look like it. Onyx, it's a switch between using Secret Power and Nature Power, just like Erica's Gym. And the same goes for Kangaskhan, as it's just a matter of spamming the right attacking moves and eventually getting the win. Okay, so Koga was interesting. Well, at least in how many attempts he took. My estimate was around 20, but what you're seeing is number 10. Some of the issues I had with this team was Sludge and Minimize. Poison is super weak against our grass Seedot, and Minimize on Muck raises his evasiveness, making Nature Power Swift our best move, since Swift has no accuracy and hits all the time. When it came to his Ace Wheezing, the strategy I came up with was pretty simple. We could eventually survive a Sludge once we got to a high enough level, and healing off with the rest causes us to sleep for 2 turns. Now, if we can use up all of our rests, then Wheezing will run out of power points for Sludge, leaving it with only Tackle, hardly dealing any damage to us. After that, his last member is an easy knockout. Okay, time for the Silph rival fight. Something I've noticed that may be an issue down the line is that in my earlier attempts at this battle, we could take down Pidgeot, but Charizard would take us down instantly with Flamethrower. We have to get very lucky that it either misses with Flamethrower or uses a different move entirely. On this attempt, he uses Scary Face instead of Flamethrower, allowing us to use a second Shadow Ball to take it out. The rest of his team is an easy sweep with Shadow Ball. The next Giovanni fight goes pretty much the same as the first one, in which we use Shadow Ball to take out the ground and poison types, and for Kangaskhan, we have to use Secret Power as it is unaffected by ghost type moves. It does use Flinch Out, which prevents us from taking out on our first turn, but enough Secret Powers takes it out, and then another Shadow Ball finishes off Rhyhorn, and wins this fight. So as expected, Sabrina was really easy to take down. Shadow Ball is super effective against the majority of her Pokemon, and Secret Power is able to take out her Venomoth, who is Bug and Poison type. Okay, to beat Blaine, I had to get extremely lucky. His main gimmick is to use Fire Blast, a 125 power move, Fire type move with 85 accuracy. Fire Blast only has 5 uses, so if I can get lucky enough with misses, then we should be fine. Growlithe and Arcanine lower our attack with Intimidate, so we deal less damage. I decided to teach Seedot Dig, as ground type moves are super effective against fire. Also, we disappear from the field for the first turn, so on the off chance Fire Blast was supposed to make contact, it'll miss. I added Double Team for an extra safety net to increase the chance of Fire Blast missing. Additionally, we can restore some health with leftovers on the turns that we are underground. Alright, final battle against Giovanni. I used Dig on his first Rhyhorn, as I wasn't sure Shadow Ball would deal much damage against it. Both Nido King and Queen have Poison Sting for their only Poison type move, which is pretty pathetic for the final gym battle of the game. Anyways, I end up sweeping the rest of his team with Shadow Ball, getting us our final badge. Before we have to take on the Elite Four, we have to face our rival once again. Pidgeot can't really do much against us, so we take the time to set up for Charizard. We get lucky with the critical Shadow Ball, bringing it down to almost red health and having it miss with Flamethrower. Then a second critical Shadow Ball takes it out. After that, we're able to blast for the rest of his team with Shadow Ball. Dugong is up first, and they will either use Hail or Safeguard during the first turn. I take the chance to set up Double Team, as Ice Beam will knock us out. A combination of Dig and Shadow Ball were enough to take it down. Slowbro is up next, and it goes for Amnesia, raising his special defense. Again, I used the chance to set up another Double Team, and then a super effective Shadow Ball. Lapras I needed to hit hard with Double Edge right away, since that's the biggest threat on her team. When it's safe to do so, I go for Double Team and take it down. Jinx is able to go down easily with Shadow Ball, and last but not least is Cloyster, and its main gimmick is trying to stall with Spikes and Protect, but it eventually goes down. So Bruno is never really a challenge for me, whether that be like playing casually on my own or doing a challenge video like this. My main strategy is to use Double Team, which honestly for Bruno, I don't even know why to Double Team. I feel like we're strong enough that we can easily take it with Dig and Secret Power. Yeah, so Onyx, both of them go down with Dig, and I think the reason I used Double Team was just because of Hitmonchan's counter, which doubles back any damage it takes during that battle. And it's like, yeah, Machamp, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, they all go down like pretty easily. They're not resistant against normal type moves, and we eventually take out Bruno. Okay, so Agatha's team is pretty straightforward. For Gengar, it's going to try setting up with Double Team as well, so we have to use Shadow Ball before it gets annoying just to try hitting. For Arbok, we hit hard with Double Edge, taking it out, and the same with Golbat. And then Haunter and the other Gengar go down easily with Shadow Ball, since we outspeed. Okay, so like I predicted, I knew Lance was going to give me a lot of trouble. One of my earlier attempts, I was trying with Toxic and Rock Smash, but basically that wasn't working. Basically, I was using every TM that we had gotten up to this point. But eventually, I did get an attempt where I won. So I knew I would have to use more than Double Team to win this fight. So I got rid of Dig and swapped it for Attract. Gyarados does 40 damage with Dragon Rage, so healing that off isn't a problem. Aerodactyl goes down, but we only have 5 Double Edges for Dragonite and Dragoneer. We get lucky with a critical Double Edge on Dragonite for a 1-hit KO. Up next is the first Dragoneer, which goes down with 2 Double Edges, but the last one is where we have the issues. The last Dragoneer is able to paralyze us with Thunder Wave, and at this point, we don't have any more Double Edges, so we have to run out of power points with it from Attract and Double Team, and then you struggle to finish off the rest of his team. Okay, champion time, and I gotta be honest, the champion fight goes pretty similar to the rest of the rival fights, but I still had to come up with a few different strategies along the way. So starting off, one of my strategies was to use Toxic, Double Team, and Attract as a way of just completely immobilizing and hindering the opponents as much as possible, but that didn't go over as well as Pidgeot was able to get a lot of critical aerial aces on us, which is always fun. But I digress. The same strategy is always simple. Use Pidgeot as to set up against Charizard. And then once Charizard is essentially taken care of, once we get lucky enough, it's pretty easy sweep through the rest of his team. No strategy or no complications. Gyarados is a bit tanky, but nonetheless, we end up winning the challenge. Okay, so that was the challenge. Overall, it was pretty fun to do. Seedot is definitely a good break from using the normal types like Skitty and Swablu. Has a much better move pool, learn set. Kinda sucks we couldn't take advantage of this grass boost, but it happens. If you like the video, please make sure to like down below and subscribe if you want to see more content. I post every week. I don't have a set schedule yet, but I will soon, hopefully. And follow me on Twitter and TikTok, where I'll be tweeting about random stuff and posting booster pack openings as long as the main channel. Alright, with that said, I'll see you guys next time.